Welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your nerd today, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, I'm joined by my teacher in crime, Sly. How are you?
I got a rosé in my hand. We're kicking off season 4, and it's gonna be a long night, but we're here. Cheers.
Cheers.
4. Just like
water.
my favorite WNBA team has 4 championships. We're on season 4.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And of course, that is the New York Liberty.
No, they have 1.
They
just got their first.
As
always, I'm talking, of course, about the Houston comment.
Of course.
Which, no shade to Philly, but the fact that Houston didn't get their team back before we got a brand new expansion team kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
These teams, like, these leagues are weird. You know, like we could get into it in a different when we launched that sports podcast.
This is not the show to discuss.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, that's definitely a thing we could talk about, because I feel like that's happened in any, if it's not like a major league or anything, you know, like, no offense to WWE, but like I'm talking about like arena football, or like, you know, we have lacrosse here, so we have like the Wings and stuff like that. Like there's always that, are we gonna get a team back? It's like, I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Are we gonna have a stadium? Who knows? Definitely not in Chinatown.
Who knows?
Anyway.
Well, we're not here to talk about sports as much as I've been trying to bully everybody I know into doing a sports podcast for the past like 3 years consistently. No, we're here to talk about the one, the only Superman : Man of Tomorrow 2020.
Yes, absolutely. This is the kickoff to the Tomorrowverse, a direct continuation of what we previously had with the DC AMU. Trust me, because we ended that season. Spoilers for season 3 of our show. Constantine made Flash rewrite everything. So here we go. This is a new timeline, a new history. And we know everything is connected because of our previous bonus episode, Constantine House of Mystery. So, Sly, have you seen this movie before?
I saw this movie a week ago. Way past my bedtime, and spoilers for my thoughts, I barely remember any of it, so unfortunately not too memorable.
Yes, that's fine. It's fine. We'll get into it, like all the rigmarole, when we get into the episode proper, but I'm kind of with you. I saw this about 2 weeks ago, and I mean, although it is a Superman movie, not up to par where we've been with, like, let's say James Gunn's Superman movie, which we're very high on, you know, and I just bought on digital and watched again. For God who knows how many times at this point. But as Bucky chimes in on the corner, this movie was directed by Chris Parmar, written by Tim Sheridan, studios, as always, WB Animation, stars Darren Criss as
my beloved Darren Criss.
Yes, who is
the absolute icon. Can I talk about how much I love Darren Criss?
Let's go, because he's going to pop up a bunch in not only this season, but the season after.
I love Darren Criss. Darren Criss, notably star of the hit 2005 musical, a Harry Potter musical, and its sequels, a Harry Potter sequel, and a Harry Potter senior year. He also then wanted to go on and do TV stuff. Boo, boring. But he is back on stage as of recording, probably not as of posting. Maybe for a couple more weeks. In my favorite musical since the like 2016 season of Broadway, maybe Happy Ending, which I do have both a CD.
Oh my God. Okay.
Compact disc and a vinyl copy of the Maybe Happy Ending cast album.
Did you buy the vinyl after you bought your 1000 Resist vinyl or before?
After. I bought the 1000 Times Resist vinyl, I bought the Join the Party one shot the Newlyweds game. I bought a vinyl player. And then I bought maybe happy ending. And then
Yeah.
I bought the other 3 copies of 1,000 Times Persist.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Darren
Anyways, that was
Chris.
not the point.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Darren Chris is like if there's like spandex or music, he's going to be a part of it, or one way, shape, or form, or animation. Actually, I'm looking at his credits like on IMDb. A lot of animation he's done. Did not know he is the main villain of an anime on Netflix, which I've been watching. I was like, whoa! I knew that voice sounded familiar. He's in kids shows. He's in in everything and anything. And then this has, weirdly enough, one of the it's so random, Sly, and it's not going to make sense until we get into the episode proper. But this has a weird tie into the like inspiration for this story, at least in the beginning half of Man of Tomorrow. We'll get into that very shortly, which is an unfortunate thing. It's something I did want to talk about because separation of artists with this one is going to be very strange. But yes, Darren Chris.
Well, speaking of
Awesome.
Darren Chris, notably Filipino. Apparently, this is breaking news to some people. He is currently in like an all-Asian cast of a musical. Yes. And he's getting replaced by a white man.
It's always a white man.
Fully a white man. What is he doing here? I love you, ABF. I love you so much. Why the fuck did you say yes to that? A white man?
Insane.
I cannot fathom how that was the choice that was made. Anyways, that was my tirade on how much I love Darren Criss, notably the star and composer of the Harry frickin' Potter musicals. That's his biggest claim to fame. That's the only Glee. Credit that matters.
Not Glee at all.
Not Glee. We'll talk about the Glee to DC animated pipeline in a future episode. I already have a note about it.
Not even that. It's even the House of L too. He stays in that wheelhouse, man, with House of L stuff. But yeah, he is starring as Superman. Zachary Quinto is taking the role of Lex Luthor. Does a really good job in this. Ike Abmandi is Jean Jones. Alexandria Daddario is Lois Lane. Brett Dalton of
also notably she was in the really bad Percy Jackson movie.
Listen, she was young. She was just starting. You can't blame her. Hey, you know what? She was on True Detective too.
I don't know what else she did.
She did True Detective. She's in season 1 of True Detective.
Never seen it. I hate to break it to you.
That's fine. I never seen it either. I just know of some memorable scenes that she happens to be in with little to no clothes on.
All right. Oh no.
Yeah,
that's a child. She's not a child.
Not anymore. No, she's an adult. She's an adult. Let's not be weird about it. Okay. All right, we're not, no, I'm not gonna make that joke. We have Brett Dalton from an actual Marvel show. Famously, he was Grant Ward in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then we have
that fucker.
Yeah, dude. No, he was Parasite.
I lied. She's way older than me. I don't know why I thought she was. Yeah, I was so like, much younger.
She ain't a kid. I'm not a kid. We definitely close there in age, me and her. I'll say there's no way.
Yeah.
He said that. I was like, wait, am I a child? I'm not a child. I'm a child at heart.
I definitely thought she was much closer to my age than yours.
No, she just wears it well. She wears it very well. Oh, she's older than me, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Man, she was great for her age. Yeah. Okay.
You look great. Come on the show. We love you.
Yeah, absolutely. Please, God, let's talk about Percy Jackson. Let's do that. Let's launch a Percy Jackson podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And then famously,
there's already one of those. It's called The Newest Olympian. It's very good. Go listen to it.
Links will be down below.
He doesn't need the links. He's doing just fine.
But well, maybe if we send him over and then people will come over from his show. Who knows? They're like, oh, we heard about Percy Jackson on this random Superman episode. Let's watch this whole series.
You heard it here first. Mike Schubert, come on the show. We love you.
Yep.
Let's have you. You want to talk about DC animated movies? We got you.
We're here. We're here. One-stop shop. And then finally we got Ryan Hurst, who at this point I'm getting worried that he's getting typecast in a lot of media that I like because Ryan Hurst, famously from Remember the Titans. I don't know if you ever seen. Yeah, he was the main white quarterback.
I watched it in history class.
Yeah, it was a good movie. He's in that. But then he was a larger man with a beard that drank a lot in Opie in Sons of Anarchy. Then he is a large alien in this with a beard that drinks in Lobo. And then he also played a larger man with a beard who happens to be the Norse god of thunder in Thor in God of War Ragnarok. And all three roles completely different from each other and amazing all at the same time. Right. He's a very good actor.
Yeah, but like very visually similar and three very different characters.
Yeah, sometimes he has a belly, sometimes he doesn't have a belly. They're all big in stature and he does a great job every time. He's menacing when he needs to be. Perfectly cast. Watch Sons of Anarchy, guys, by the way. There's some stuff that doesn't age really well, but it's a good Macbeth allegory with motorcycles. All right, so this, I can proudly say this is actually streaming on HBO Max, unlike next week's episode.
Listen, unlike the rest of this entire season, until we get to the last 2 episodes.
Yep.
They got episode 1, they got episode 6 and 7. Everything in between, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, God forbid episode 3 would be on there. Like one of the most, and this is famously, again, we don't hate Batman, but you would assume DC would be like, Batman, of course we're gonna have Batman stuff on here. Like, nope. God forbid.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think. Sly, hit us with that plot recap.
I'm laughing too hard already. It's gonna be a good show. All right. It's the dawn of a new age of heroes, and Metropolis has just met its first. But as Daily Planet intern Clark Kent, working alongside reporter Lois Lane, secretly wields his alien powers of flight, super strength, and X-ray vision in the battle for good, there's even greater trouble on the horizon. Thank you, Yusuf Piskin?
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I think you got that.
There's a lot of vowels in that, and I'm not great with vowels.
Yeah.
So apologies.
Listen, it's their fault. No apologies. It's your fault. Why are you a monster? No, I'm joking. That's like his actual legal name. It's like their legal name. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, now that you've alienated our, loyal
Eastern European bloc,
number 1 on the chart,
the world, yeah. So why don't you hit us with those comic book characters?
All right. Apparently, in this movie, that I totally remember, we have Superman, Lex Luthor, Martian Manhunter, my boy, Lois Lane, looking lovely as always. Parasite, Lobo, which we'll talk about, Ma and Pa Kent, who you gave their full government names here, but I will not, and of course Perry White.
Yeah, no Jimmy Olsen, which I'm like kind of sad because I'm really, especially after my second watch of James Gunn Superman, I'm like, I want more Jimmy Olsen. Like he feels so integral to the Superman story, even if you take a serious take.
Real honest, I've been reading a lot of Supercorp fan fiction, and so every time I picture Jimmy Olsen, it is of course James Olsen from Supergirl.
Fair, very fair. Who is a very sexy man. That Jimmy Olsen getting that many ladies looking at him makes sense. The Jimmy Olsen we get in the new DC universe. Listen, he's got charisma.
It works for some people.
It does.
More power to him.
It does. All right. So let's get into it and move on to our Andrea Romano roundup as we shout out the voice director, Queen herself, Andrea Romano. Um, let's start here. And I wrote here, starting up again, let's try this shared universe thing one more time. Sly.
Let's do this.
We're here again,
one
dude.
more time. We're
We're
here
here
again.
again.
The start of yet another cinematic universe. That was the choice they made in
Listen,
the ripe year of 2020. That's
if
exactly what everybody was craving in the year 2020 was more shared cinematic universes.
yeah, they thought, hey, we did okay with our Batman centric DC animated movie universe. How about we just restart everything? Let's just restart everything from scratch. Similar to their corporate overlords in DC Comics proper, when they restart and
Yeah.
reboot the universe every goddamn 5 years. There's some goddamn event, or they do something crazy. Like, well, now at least it's a little slowed down. And if there's craziness, hey, you don't have to read that book. You can read the other book over here, where like this universe is not a Batman with an axe for some reason, and a one-armed Wonder Woman, and I don't know.
The
There's a
axe
lot.
did look very cool.
It does, and
Is
the
it
fact
my
that it's
jam?
bad.
Not particularly.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That the absolute universe seems very strange and scary to me. I have to read it eventually, but
Uh-huh.
it's strange. It's too strange. Um, yeah, we're doing this
Yeah.
again, and it's too soon. And there's no like when it comes to DC animated movies, it almost feels like there's no reason to do this, right? When you have the real world, but like live action example of James Gunn taking over, the DC movie universe. Okay, that makes sense, right? Like he wants to make a fresh start. He wants to be like, hey, let's not get bogged down with all the craziness you saw before. And there's all these, problematic things happening here. Let's just restart. Let's just restart and let's focus on the characters we know we need to restart the universe with. Let's start with Superman, which this is doing as well, which is weird that they both restart the universe and they're starting
Yeah.
with the premier
Kind of a
superhero, the
parallel.
first superhero, Superman. It is a weird parallel. But when it comes to the animation side, this is our third shared universe, right? That we're technically covering. Because we already had the, Diniverse. And that was a thing, and every couple of years we get something in there.
Loosely connected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing too crazy. And it was fun to like check in on the world every once in a while. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, that's cool. And then they wanted to do a full cinematic universe similar to the MCU, and live action wise, it wasn't doing so well. Animated wise, this past season we covered it. I think it did pretty well, all things considered. There's a lot of Batman, and again,
Barely
we don't. Yeah,
successful, and
Yeah.
that's all they care about is it making money? Is it getting decent critic reviews? Yes and yes. So, they went with it until it started to kind of peter off, and they thought, what will fix this dying cinematic universe? Bam! Restart it.
reboot, and it's funny that we're also making this joke again, hot off the heels of James Gunn launching, really launching the DC cinematic universe that he's starting now. And again, this is the DC podcast. The rumors of what's going to happen post, Secret Wars and Doomsday on the MCU side. That there's a lot of rumors swirling around about recast and other things like that. Who knows what's going to happen there? We're not a Marvel show, but it's just it is very
We
par
do
for
have
the
a Marvel
course.
show if you want those thoughts.
That's true.
We might bring it back. Let us
Who knows?
know.
But it's just weird to do it again. And again, this one starts off very unremarked. I think it's safe to say for both rules. It's not a bad movie in any way, shape, or form. The animation style I did have to get used to. It doesn't.
It was very interesting.
It was
not what
different.
we've been used to. It was very different from, the DC AMU has a very distinct, cohesive style. When I see a frame or a screenshot from a DC AMU property, I'm like, that is familiar. Like even before having seen all of them, But especially now that we have gone through and seen every single one of them, it is it's so uniform in a way that this did take getting used to, but also it was kind of fun to have some variety in our art styles.
Honestly, yeah, it really does. And it's I want to say it's like softer, but like when you look at the AMU, like it does have it more angular. It does again feel very Jim
Very
Lee,
angular, very
uh
sharp.
very New 52 beginning. Of course, a lot of the
And I
storylines came from
love
that.
Jim Lee.
Yeah, yeah,
It
and
was
I
just a lot of one note art style.
mm-hmm. Yeah, this took some like I think like halfway through the movie, I was like, oh, I think I'm used to this now. Like a lot of the designs that we're
Yeah.
getting in this universe, and it shows an interesting way to showcase these characters in a different way. Metropolis looks completely different. It looks so futuristic than
Oh
anything
yeah.
we've seen in a very long time. Like it looked to me like a lit up Neo Gotham from Batman Beyond. Like that's what it looked like. I'm like this really does look
Yeah.
like the city of tomorrow. Holy crap. um Also I loved Clark's design. Like looking at the kind of we have the thumbnails in the background right now. The blue belt on the red trunks was a
Yeah.
very interesting take on that. Um, and then a lot of his stuff, like his early proto suit, which now I guess we can talk about. The beginning of this movie is
I do
very.
want to touch on
Oh, good,
one more
good,
thing
yeah.
about the shared universe of it all.
Mhm.
I think it's really interesting that they really thought that the Tomorrowverse would be the savior of DC animated movies when first of all they were doing just fine.
Yeah.
Like they weren't doing great anymore, People started to peter off after a little bit of the superhero fatigue kicked in. But also like our final season is going to be the everything else season, the things that don't fit into
Hmm.
other clear categories. And that's like 20 plus movies from 2005 to be announced 2025. I don't think that movie is coming out this year. It's fine. We'll cover it when it does. But like things can just exist. And I think we've forgotten that as superhero properties that things can just exist. You can just have like a 4 to 6 issue run of like a spin-off comic that has no impact on the greater world. You can just make a tight 90 of a movie adapting your favorite storyline. You can just make a a quick little film and explore a completely new idea and story and not have to like chokehold it into the structure of a cinematic universe. Like things can exist, they could be tangentially related, they could be not related at all. And I really, really hope that as we move into this new era of the post like MCU revival that we're getting in the post James Gunn helming DC, that we can enjoy shared universes in a like loosely connected way, but not in the you have to watch 23 movies and 5 TV shows to be able to experience the next cultural touchstone kind of way. And I'm hopeful for the future. But first, we got to sit through the Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to echo some of our frustration at the end of last season, it is it was so frustrating to see a very, we saw Hush, and that was very well done. And then we get the blue suit, right? And we see some difference in this universe. And then we get,
Love the blue.
the death and rebirth of Superman, two-part that we did. And then we get the full trunks and like the rebirth suit for that. It's like, oh man, this is looking awesome. And then Wonder Woman gets like her rebirth slash like movie costume at the end of her movie. And like, oh my god, wait, we got a Wonder Woman movie, we got two Superman movies, we got this, we got that. We're like, oh man, this is awesome. And then it's like, all right, we're gonna end everything. Like, god damn it. Like we just got all this
We
cool
just
stuff.
got what we wanted.
Like they should, I mean, it's hard to say they should have done it, right? But like we were so frustrated at the end because of that. Like we've had so much time, it's so much Batman to then get to like, hey, there's some diversity in this. There's some Teen Titans movies. There's all this other stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh man, this is really, really good. This universe is really coming together. It's like, all right, we're gonna kill it. It's like, but why? Maybe slow up. Maybe because if we look at the time, when we were, we always say that
It
the
was
year the
like,
movie came out, it was like 3 movies a year at some point. It was like, slow down. We don't need that.
yeah, it was like 2 movies a year, and then we hit 3 movies a year, and we're like, okay, this is getting a little bit much. Like a movie a year, 2 movies a year,
Yeah.
that's doable. But literally, like, as soon as we hit 2018, we had 1, 2, 3 movies come out, and then 3 movies again in 2019. We don't need that much content.
No.
I get y'all are greedy. You want money. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll make more money if you're not spending so much money on slop and instead are taking your time, and then people are actually excited and will spend their money on things.
Yeah. I mean, and it even comes to, the physical side when like a lot of us who read comic books, like it's a lot to invest on what's the current storyline, what's going on. Hey, do I have to read Justice League Unlimited or can I just read World's Finest? Oh, what's going on here? There's a new event coming on the horizon called DCKO. That sounds awesome. But like, do I have to read all the Absolute Universe to understand why they want to fight Darkseid? Or are you going to do a really good job at issue 1 of being like, hey, for someone who did not want to read anything Absolute Universe, this is what you need to know. This is why there's some weird ass tournament going on. There's going to be cool art and cool fights, and at the end, someone's going to beat the shit out of Darkseid. Like, cool. Sign me up for 6 issues. Like,
Hell yeah.
and I know this is the main universe, and this is going to be important moving on. But like, don't make me have homework. Like, I think everyone's so opposed to that word homework, and like I am. I don't want to hear that word. We joke around like at the end. Your homework is
I
like,
love homework.
yeah, I love watching a movie. I don't want to watch like 8 movies in a row then to talk about it for, one thing. Like, come on, man, like slow down. Unless it's something big and bombastic where you need to release multiple a year, then that's one thing. And then we're also talking about the same DC universe that again, next season is everything else, right? And it's 20 movies plus. Those movies were getting released sporadically during the DC AMU, during the previous seasons, during this season. So like we're getting like a cool, Bronze Tiger, 70s Batman, Lady Shiva-esque movie, but we're also getting the Tomorrowverse, which is like quote unquote the main thing you should be watching. It's like it's a lot. And shout out to WB Animation for doing a good job keeping up on the animation on this. Being able to get granted a movie that is similar to like that 70s Batman thing I was talking about. And on the other side, because of corporate synergy, of course they're making Mortal Kombat movies, animated movies, and there's like 4 or 5 of those. It's like, guys, I think those animators need a break. Famously, we'll talk about in our Discord because me, Fee, and Frank like love anime. The studio Mappa was just doing too much, and even so much in a work culture that is Japan and so work heavy, they were getting criticized in Japan, being like, "Hey, this is too much. The animators here are struggling because they have too much on their plate." And now, I don't know if they ever come to that. I know, listen, other people got their ball to run with when it came to Attack on Titan, but that's beside the point. Like, these artists are doing a lot. And I don't know in the structure that we have, especially with David Zaslav, and this is a good time to say, fuck David Zaslav.
Fuck you.
You're overworking and most likely underpaying these people. It's like, dude, slow down, let them take their time, pay them what they deserve, and don't make us like have homework to watch 18 different things before we can watch the next movie. Like again, on the MCU side, I still haven't seen the newest season of Daredevil. I miss, the last season of Netflix's Daredevil. I miss the last season of Jessica Jones, the last season of Luke Cage, the last season of Iron Fist. I didn't see the last season of Punisher. Like I miss all those last seasons of the Netflix shows, which are on Disney Plus. That's cool,
I have a date.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah.
Apparently, we have a release date for the Aztec movie. It's coming out September 8th, 2025.
That is right. So that is our 2025 movie.
HBO Max.
Yes, that is.
It's been TBA for like 2 years. It was supposed to come out last year.
Hey, they took their time. That shit was awesome. But it's a lot, right? And a lot of people complain about the MCU side. I love the MCU. I love watching it, but like I hate that overhanging cloud of like I have to watch this and this and this and that and this and that and this and this and this and that. Like just giving me slow, go slow. Give me like again a 4 episode run of She-Hulk, and then give me like 8 months, and then be like, yo, by the way, here's a Marvel movie. Like space that out. I was like, oh, also it's not super important. Like you can just watch this. These characters will show up later on, but like, hey, was that fun? Like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Holy shit, thank you. Like, don't make everything have to be so bombastic and like world ending. Like, let's just slow down, slow down, everyone.
Everyone,
DC, Marvel,
just watch Echo. Don't worry about any other Marvel things.
yeah.
Just go watch Echo again.
To be
Do
fair,
it. I know you want to.
you talking to yourself in the mirror. Just watch it again.
Me talking to me.
But yeah, I wanted to touch upon the beginning of this movie a little bit before we, talk about our main villain as well. But getting back into the beginning of this movie is heavily inspired by one of my favorite books, Superman American Alien. Now, again, I will state for a fact, I've mentioned this before. It is one of the best adaptations of Superman. It's its own thing. It's its own universe. It's really cool. It's like 4 or 5 issues, maybe 6 at most. Is a miniseries. It's just you can't separate the art from the artist. Unfortunately, and I don't,
Yeah.
I'll say his name once. Max Landis is a piece of shit, and he wrote this. And although it is a very, very good Superman story, and although he made
Beloved.
yeah,
It is an iconic, absolutely like celebrated Superman piece of media.
Yeah.
People revere this story so highly. And also the creator's a piece of shit.
yeah. So it just take that with a grain of salt. If you have issues, I do not blame you for not reading it. I even though I do recommend it, again, it's not one of those things where like it's the end of the world. But this takes a lot of inspiration to like what this universe is. A little more, I don't want to say realistic approach, but you see a Superman who wears a flight jacket, and his first fight is with Lobo.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah. And that's how he finds out he's Kryptonian in that storyline. He finds out, he knows he's different. He knows he's an alien, but he didn't know what he was. And through this, he finds out that, hey, I'm a Kryptonian. Hey, I'm this and that, He hears about, Batman, similar that he does in that universe. This was my only thing about Max Landis being a piece of shit. We were supposed to get a Batman story from him. I was like, well, I don't want it now because you're gross. But
Right.
that being said, this is heavily inspired at the very beginning, especially he fights Lobo. He's trying to understand the limits of his power. Oh, if I fly, if I see the sun, like that empowers me. Oh, I could fight better. I can do this. I can do that.
The fucking outer glow layer on top of him when he gets into outer space.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny. It was.
Yeah.
It was
I
so
was like,
silly.
his hands are glowing?
I do like though that this one, this adaptation, because it takes a lot again from that like the end of that series to incorporate in the beginning of this movie, does not take itself super serious. This isn't like a grimdark, Superman or anything like that. He does joke around. He does play around. I mean, at one point in my notes, I didn't read yours. We get to see fucking naked ass Clark Kent, just not a care in the world, by the way.
Oh, where I said whole ass naked.
Yep, I think I said butt booty naked Clark.
My thing about this was a Superman movie. As previously discussed, I am not a Superman person. And I have only recently come to understand what it is to enjoy a Superman piece of media.
Mm-hmm.
And I really struggled with most of this movie being like, this is technically sound. This is very good. However, none of it's hitting for me up until we get the Kents and their discussion of like morality and what does it mean to be a hero. And I was like, shout out Mom and Pa. You always
Yeah.
reel me back in. Like I was not hooked. You hooked me
And
finally.
and that was so funny to see a Jonathan Kent that was very, like, I don't want to say pensive, but like he was very worried, obviously, for his son. He didn't necessarily want him to stop saving people, but like Jonathan Kent in Man of Steel. But he didn't go as far as to suggest that, but he's just worried about his son. It's his son. He's concerned, and he has
kid.
a human right to be like, this is my boy. I don't want him to get hurt. And then like kind of coming to grips, being like, he's got this gift. He's got to help. Like
Right.
he's got to do what he's got to do. But like, I'm going to be worried. Like, and this was like the way to do it compared to Zack Snyder's version. It's just not the way to do it.
Right.
Yeah, not the way to portray
And
Jonathan
this
Kent.
also just like reinforced to me that the most interesting characters in Superman stories, much like Batman, are not the titular character. Like everybody around him is what makes the story good.
Yeah.
And I feel the same exact way about Batman. Like everybody around Batman makes his stories compelling.
Yeah.
And I think this really embraced that everyone around Superman makes him interesting, makes his story worth telling.
Yeah.
We get a really fun take on Lois and her relationship to Lex. We get a really interesting take on Martian Manhunter and his idea of what it means to be a hero and what it means to be a survivor and how those two are at odds. And we get, of course, Ma and Pa Kent doing the absolute most. And even the fucking janitor. I have so
Yeah.
many feelings about the fucking janitor.
Yeah. I don't think I ever gave a shit about Parasite as a character. He's like a cool design, a cool character.
And I don't care about Parasite. I care about fucking Jones
Yeah.
and his kid and his wife.
And like, who would have thought this movie would have made him like a very sympathetic villain? And I'm like, man, I feel bad for this dude because like recent media has done that pretty well with John Corbin as well, Metallo. But like, this is one where I watch him like, damn, dude, like everyone has a valid reason for like what you see as flaws for them, right? Like Jean has his flaws, and knowing his backstory and what we know about the character, and they don't do a whole exposition. You just know, man, he lost his family. Of course, he's scared to reveal himself. Like the first person that saw him on Earth has a heart attack and dies in front of him, so he's like freaked the hell out.
Yeah.
And then he sees this Kryptonian. He's like, "Oh, I promised, I would help," and all this other stuff. And like, "Hey, I'm here to help. Whatever you need, I got you." Maybe we shouldn't be exposing ourselves like publicly though. Like we should probably keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
And like, everyone has a valid reason for like the stuff they do. You can tell that Lois has that mentality that she's went through school. She's starting to work. She's really trying to earn her place in the world. And to see her go through and be like, no, I'm not the type of person that you think I am. I'm not this. I will steal a story from you though. And I was like, wow, I did not expect her to like
absolutely tried to snipe that story right from under him.
Dude, and he was not picking it up at first. And he's like, wait a minute, are you trying to steal my story? Like it was
yeah, absolutely that's what she's doing.
amazing.
You
Oh
dipshit.
I love it. He's so, and this is a Clark that's still naive. He's an intern, which is something we don't also see, from Clark. Like we've never seen him in this position.
They're both interns.
Yeah, technically they are. Yeah,
rivalry interns.
And I love that. I love that. And Darren Criss and Alexandria Daddario did a really good job of playing off each other in those scenes. Their banter was really well as well. It works really well, especially when Lois names him Superman. And then Clark's like, yeah, no. Also, that's never gonna catch. He's just like quick to like dismiss her. And he's like, does not like the name Superman. He's like, no. There's other stuff. There's better stuff. Don't worry about it. It's so funny to me.
And then of course her name sticks.
Yeah,
it's Lois. Yeah. You're never gonna win against her. It's fine.
Yeah, but this movie, it sounds like we're really down on it, but we're not. It's a serviceable movie at the end of the day. Yeah, it's an interesting start to the universe. I feel like, our start for last season was Flashpoint Paradox, which is very bombastic and like crazy alternate, history of the DC universe and these characters that are like changed in significant ways. It's fun to watch.
Which
And then the next one right
we'll get
after
to
is
the
Dark
alternate
Side,
universe.
right? We get Dark Side and we
Yeah.
get Justice League War, and Justice League is coming together. And it's like, wow, this is fun. This is like, hey, let's slow down. I'm like, yeah, we can pick up the pace a little bit, in this movie. It's the first one out the gate. You already set the tone to be like, hey, we go full bore every time we do one of these movies. We can speed it up a little bit. But I wanted to talk more about uh, Parasite because I think, again, as I mentioned, he is notoriously like a villain I never really care about. Like he pops up like, oh, Superman's gonna have trouble fighting him. I wonder how he's gonna get out of this. Like I think maybe Superman the animated series is like the last time I cared about him, but even more so, his storyline and background in this and how personable Brett Dalton makes him really went a long way of setting him up as like a very culpable villain, like a very capable villain, someone who actually was like, oh man, I hope like they can fix him and help him at the end of the day.
And I think there's something so empathizable about a character who is somebody just doing their best to succeed and thrive and exist in the world and having a horrible tragedy happen to them, and then they suddenly become the villain in somebody's story. And I it's just such a compelling framing of this character. Like, we get to know this guy, we get to care about him, about his family. He's a service member, blah 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 blah. And then we get to witness what happens to him. And like, sure, yeah, he like fucks up and destroys a bunch of shit because he can't control this, like, what this experiment has done to him. But I think we are so conditioned to see the humanity in people and in these characters that it's impossible to see him as just the parasite in this movie. And I think that was really well done. Like, it's a really interesting juxtaposition that we get between Lobo, who is just like a party boy here to fuck up the planet, blah 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 blah, and this like deeply compelling, like, human nature narrative that mirrors it. And I don't know, I think they made really interesting choices with the characters they had. I don't think it all came together as impactfully as it could have landed.
Yeah, I agree. I think another cool thing they did with Parasite was in my notes I wrote, like, it was an interesting wrinkle because I don't think this is normally part of his power set. He gained knowledge. He
Yeah.
gained knowledge of the
Uh-huh.
people he was like, you know, taking over basically.
Absorbing.
Instead of, yeah. So like I thought that was really interesting. That made him an even scarier villain because there's always that thing where like Parasite in the comics or like in anime series is like, okay, he's like capable, he can be frightened, he's a little smart, but he's not like, oh, if I get someone with like rocket science powers, I'm super smart now. Like, oh shit, that's scary. Like that's frightening now because he knows what he's doing. Instead of just kind of being this like idiot that kind of fumbles his way. And it's like he's like an allegory for monsters, of course, and he has like a lot of problems. Like he can't touch people and stuff like that. It felt very Sandman in Spider-Man 2 in this film. Like I care for my family. All this other stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, but it really worked. I
Terrible accident.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helped, and I think it showed too that one of the cool things, to me at least, was seeing Superman defeat him through his humanity. He
Yeah.
starts to break through to the person that is in there. When he's so like his kaiju form, as I called it. Um,
And I
he
think that speaks so much to the movie's perspective on Clark as a character, that he knows all of these things about Jones. Like, he doesn't have to go out and learn this. Like, he cared enough to invest deeply into knowing this man's life, enough to be able to, in that moment, really embrace this appeal to humanity.
Yeah, because even early on, when like Clark is trying to get a scoop from him, he is still
Mhm.
very much like playing off his humanity and like really trying to
Uh-huh.
bond with Jones at
Right.
that point, like really trying to like connect with him. And then at the same time, he's like, "Hey, I'm a news reporter. Can you tell me anything? You know, what's going on here? Like, you got these secrets, all this." But he really does try to like open up to him, which is really. I think I wanted to.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about. There's like three bad guys technically in this movie, so we talked a little bit about Lobo, but what did you think about Lobo in this movie?
This was kind of my first exposure to Lobo outside of Jason Momoa interview.
Fair, which is basically
To be
Lobo.
honest. Yeah, uh-huh. Seeing that man talk about this character is the coolest thing. I highly recommend. But yeah, I feel like he wasn't a proper villain. Like, he was here, he was fucking shit up, he was the antagonist to our protagonist,
Yeah,
but he wasn't really villainous. I don't feel like at any point his motives were so dastardly,
yeah,
other than him being like, I want entertainment.
yeah.
Give
Which
it to me now.
is a really cool way for Lobo, right? Like that's I kind of compared him. And I think at one point I was like waiting to fight, which is funny enough that I said this before these covers came out. But I was like Lobo or Deadpool, like who would win in a fight or something like that because they have that chaotic energy and they really are just
Yeah,
mercenaries for
that'd be
hire.
a good fight.
If you get somebody who's good and gives them money, hey, they're gonna do good. If you get someone bad who gives them money, they're gonna fuck shit up for no reason, and they have fun doing it. Um, so it is interesting that today released, or not today, but like as of this quarter, I think like 2 days ago, they released more covers and more side stories that's going to be part of the DC Marvel crossover that's happening soon. And one of them is Deadpool and Lobo, which I was like, oh, so weird because I just mentioned they have that
Brilliant.
energy
Yeah.
and it makes sense. Yeah, he's not
Uh-huh.
technically a bad guy. You're right. He is an antagonist at most. And like, there's even an episode of I think as you remember the Justice League animated series where they think Superman's dead, and they, Lobo's like, I want to be part of the Justice League. Like I could do this, and they're like, absolutely not. And then when Clark comes back, he's like, get out. He's like, I'm gonna leave. Like it
All
was
right.
so
I had
well
my
done.
fun.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It was so fun to see him and use him as like the beginning, antagonist against him. Also, there was one point, and I wrote this down. I was like, what the hell did Lobo say to Lois? Because she's not a prude, and she was so
Right.
disgusted by what he said to
Yeah.
her. I was like, what depravity came out of Lobo's mouth to piss off this army brat who's grown up on like bases
Right.
and is just a sailor mouth, more so than probably her father
Huh.
in Lois. I'm like, what level of misogyny and depravity came out of Lobo? I need to know. That is both horrifying and impressive at the same time. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Um, I did. What did you feel about Lex as his like third antagonist?
Lex was there. He existed. Um, I'm gonna be real honest. The only things I remember about Lex in this movie is his sassy banter with Lois about her being a recipient of the grant or the
Yeah,
scholarship or whatever. And then at one point my screen was graced by my beloved Mercy Graves. And that's all I got for
it
you.
was very quick. She was on there. I was like, oh shit, Mercy Graves is in this universe, and she's huge. She's gigantic. I loved it.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think casting someone at like Zachary Quinto, who's it's a perfect cast for like Lex Luthor. He doesn't
He
get
did a great
much.
job.
Yeah, he doesn't get much
Yeah.
to do in this first movie. I know he's obviously going to be Lex moving forward in tomorrow, so hopefully he gets more to do. But he didn't get much to do here, which was a little disappointing. But what he had was really good. It showed how smart he was, how brilliant he was. I did write a note here too. I was like, Clark taking the initiative to go to Lex when he couldn't figure out how to defeat Parasite and be like, I need your help. I'm weak against this dude. What can you do to help me? And it's like, well, hold on now, you know. And Lex is almost like taken aback by that. Car's like, no, you're smarter than me. I will admit that. And I need your help. And like Lex being like, well, you know, he's trying to bargain, but like the fact that you Lex not seeing the big picture here, right? Like this seemingly like enrollable man is like, hey, I need help. And it doesn't matter to Lex. You know, we talked about
Scary
this in
part.
yeah, we talked about this in James Gunn, you know, Superman thing. The whole crux of that movie and the famous monologue he has at the end is like, I'm just human like anybody else. And Lex doesn't see him that way. This is a Clark that goes to Lex for help. And I think Lex doesn't see that, like, hey man, no, he's still a god. Fuck him. You know, like this is a Lex that doesn't care.
Right? Yeah.
It's frustrating. Yeah.
It's something that we don't get the brotherhood that we sometimes get with the Lex and the Clark figures, where there's this relationship that they build, that there's this love and understanding between them that is then deteriorated by Lex's madness and his hatred. And I think that's something that could be very interesting. I don't think it would particularly fit well in this universe, but it's something I really hope we get the chance to explore at some point throughout the series.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on to drama class, is there anything you wanted to shout out specifically that we haven't touched upon?
Again, I don't remember much, so my notes are kind of hilarious.
There.
Um,
Yeah, I was wondering, was like, oh fucking
at one
shit, that's
point,
horrific. I'm like, what is that? Has to be something with Paris.
oh fucking shit, that's horrific. Probably when uh John gets burnt to a crisp.
Oh, dude, that was rough. That was rough. His screams
That
of
was
agony.
rough. Yeah. And then I followed that up with when he gets the reveal of coming back with, I don't like this. It feels like shock factor for shock factor's sake.
Yeah,
Like, you
it
can't
it
give
definitely
me
did.
that level of devastation and expect me to be excited about him coming back. Like, I don't know. They burned that bridge for me. At one point I just wrote, "You're making a mess, Cal." No idea why. He was probably into a fight and like breaking buildings and shit.
Yeah, I think it was his
But
fight with Lobo earlier in the movie.
probably. Um yeah, just shout out Ma and Pa Kent. Shout out Mercy Graves. Shout out Lois Lane. Uh and shout out, I'm from Kansas.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Good
Yeah,
one.
for me, I mean, I think we touched upon most of the things. Like, I was happy that John wasn't dead because I was like, oh my god, it's so early in this universe. Like, if that's what we're doing. Like, and it did. Him coming back was the shock factor for shock factor's sake, and it did feel like,
Uh-huh.
hey, are we not doing anything crazy? Like, it'd be interesting knowing that there's a through line that this universe is created by a Flash, a Barry Allen, who had to go
Mhm.
back and reset it again, you know, because his world got so bad. So like, what's gonna happen in this universe? Like, we haven't seen magic so far. You know, there's so many things up in the air, and then to be like, oh, here's John Jones. Nope, you're not getting him in this universe. Like, oh shit, that's crazy. So like, one of like the pivotal members of the Justice League is gonna be gone, and then it's like, here he is. I'm like, oh, well, I'm happy, but like, damn, well, I guess you know
Yeah.
that sucks.
Like,
Um,
they don't trust their audience to like care about him organically.
yeah, yeah, I don't, you know, I'm wondering if like the flip side, like, would we have been like, oh my god, you killed John Jones just to kill John Jones? Like, would that have factored into it? You know, I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
it, you know, it is what it is. I did my last line here was when they're on top of the Daily Planet. and Superman, John, and Lobo talking. And Lobo, he's like, "Hey, thanks for the help, whatever." He's like, "Well, whatever,
Uh-huh.
I do that the bit at, I always go after the last, whoever. He's like, "You're not the last, by the way." He's like, "Wait, what?" Hinting at who we're gonna see in the future, which I'm so excited for.
Uh-huh.
And then, uh, he's like, "So I killed my own race," but he like leaves his origin so open for interpretation. But like, if you know Lobo, it's like,
Uh-huh.
but he did do that though. Like Lobo did do that. He is the last desire, and because he's a fucking maniac, and he's like, "Fuck it, I hate all you
Uh-huh.
motherfuckers. I'll kill him." Oh, you know what? Here, this I'll end our little thing before John class with this. And it's a quick question for you. What do you think Lobo's, I'm gonna keep it Earth based, favorite drink is? I don't know if there's a canon thing, like,
Favorite
but in your
beverage?
head, yeah, what do you think in your head?
Squirt. The grapefruit soda.
Okay.
Final
Not
answer.
even alcohol. It's just the soda. Okay, you know what? I was
I mean, you can
gonna
spike it with some tequila.
I could, you know what, actually that doesn't sound too horrible, which is kind
Yeah.
of crazy. I was
I
gonna
I
joke that
do
he's
regret to inform you that that was a direct reference to an aforementioned piece of media, which is the Star Kid Harry Potter musical.
oh my god. That's everyone's gonna get it but me. But one guy is.
All of
You
you
didn't watch it.
two musical theater
Yeah.
freaks out there. That one was for you.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I wanted to check that there was like a canon thing. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I feel like you would think it's like whiskey or something. It's probably like a
Mhm.
Mai Tai, like a pina colada. You
I
know?
would rock a Mai Tai.
Yeah. But like it's heavy on the out, like for a human, you're like, oh my
Oh
god, I can
yeah.
taste the alcohol. For him, it's like, oh really? It tastes like juice, like some stupid shit like that. But like with a little umbrella. With like a little umbrella.
Uh-huh.
I love that. Jason Momoa, I know you're watching. Of course you're watching, sir. Hopefully that's a scene in
Obviously.
Supergirl. That's what I want. That's why I want you drinking a space Mai Tai when Car whoops your ass. In that movie. Alrighty, moving on to drama class, one of my favorite holdovers from MC University. We have two scenes here. Again, there's not too much in this movie memorable. Not like again James Gunn's Superman, where I was like, I could quote this whole goddamn movie. It's just 2 hours of it. And the movie's not even 2 hours. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the long one with the Kents, or do you want to start with just the short one?
The shorty.
Okay. How about I'll be Superman, you be John, and then the other one I'll be Mom Pa Kent if you want to be Superman. All right. I thought Martians only existed in the movies.
Those movies are terrible.
That you know what? That's something we didn't touch upon in the very beginning. It
Oh,
is
the
a
fucking little baby Clark watching the movie where they're all afraid of the aliens and
that was
getting scared and
so
upset. Fuck
sad.
you.
It was
That's
so
so
sad.
sad.
He just crying too. He's cry. He makes Pete Ross's mom call Jonathan because of that. And I was like, oh, he feels so alienated. See, this is why everyone was like, oh man, Superman, red, white, and blue, America. No, sir. Because he feels the same
America.
thing that Juan, that Eric, that, Denise, all the races feel. He just sees it in the alien movie, though. He feels othered. And it's
Hmm.
so, so sad. All right, then we have our final scene. Kick it off.
All right. They meet someone from the stars, and their first instinct is to fire at will.
They love you.
They don't know me, and I'm afraid that when they do,
Maybe you are what they need. If they know about you, maybe they will see things differently. Or maybe the government will lock them up or worse.
at some point they're going to ask me where I am from and why was I sent here, and I won't have those answers. And in the meantime, one way or the other, Lois is going to publish her expose.
You know what they're going to say. what we're always said, what we've always said, the world is dangerous and unforgiving. If you're different, special, you have two options. You can either
Meet it head on and accept the consequences, or you can keep your head down and accept the consequences. There's no wrong choice, but
you have to make one
why?
because you're not our little boy anymore. Becoming a man means making these choices for yourself. Just be ready because each choice, each action has consequences. And you
Yeah.
get that adult Clark is still traumatized by that fucking movie.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Have
and
you
I love
ever what's the movie that you watched at way too young of age that traumatized you forever?
Probably Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Mhm. My two are Matilda
Oh yeah.
and the Polar Express movie.
Fair.
Was my favorite book.
Yeah.
And the
That
movie
movie is
traumatized me.
it's rough. Yeah, that CG,
Uh-huh.
man. It did it for so many of those movies.
Uh-huh.
No, thank
Uh-huh.
you. No, thank you. Maybe Beowulf is like the only one that worked really well because everything's weird in that story. I this is what I was touching
Shout
upon
out
earlier.
to the bro translation of Beowulf. It is very good. Highly recommend.
I don't know. That's just the words "bro" translation of Beowulf is hilarious to me. Uh
I'm sending it to you. It's
oh
so
yeah.
good. I own a copy.
Oh, absolutely. I would to see that. But yeah, this is what I was alluding to earlier, where like this Jonathan Kent is very wary, and he's not someone who doesn't want him to save people. He's giving him the choice. And when Clark in Man of Steel, and again, a big criticism in that movie, and at the time I was like trying to be positive about that movie, but leaving the theater and watching it again and again over the years, it's so hard to like this part when little Clark saves the bus full of people. And he's like, "What was I supposed to do, Dad? Let them die?" And Kevin Costner's Jonathan says, "Maybe." And it's not Jonathan Kent. This Jonathan Kent, who is
No.
very hesitant for his boy to go out there and show himself, is like, "Listen, I can't tell you what to do. You have to make that
Yeah, you
choice.
have to make the choice.
I'm worried
Yeah.
that if you show yourself, they're going to try to kill you. They're going to try to dissect you. They're going to be afraid of you. But you need to make that choice. I'll back you up." And it's that's how that should have gone in Man of Steel. Like, if you want a Jonathan that doesn't know, doesn't have the right answer, it's not the, Jonathan that we grew up with in the comic books, or, watching Smallville, or, Superman the animated series and all this other stuff. Like, if if he doesn't know what to say, make him like this, where he's like, "Hey, you're not a little boy anymore. You gotta make a choice. But whatever choice you make, there are gonna be consequences. We got your back, but you gotta do it." And it's really refreshing. If you want to take, I don't want to say a darker take, but like a more, I guess, realistic take, on Jonathan.
Mhm.
I think this is the way you should have done it from jump. Because again, with Pruitt Taylor and James Gunn, that is very hopeful. Jonathan, that's the Jonathan we grew up reading about, and he is the one like, "Hey, you know, I know, parents aren't supposed to tell you what to do. They're supposed to just make you make mistakes and all that stuff." And they both have like a similar message, just delivered differently. And neither Jonathan
Mhm.
is wrong in this case. They're just, you could tell they're worried about their son. And that's their main focus.
Mhm.
It's just how they're conveying it sounds a little different. Like, I could see Clark being angry with this Jonathan and having a like a logistic debate about what to do as Superman. I can't see any version of Superman being okay with Jonathan Kent saying maybe you should have let those people die. Like, that's
Right.
not it. That's not Superman. That's never Superman. And even at the point where, like, hey, a lot of people in Smallville have seen what Clark has done. Of course, they're kind of talking about it. And then here's a giant tornado. Here's Jonathan Kent. I'm okay. Let me die.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I've lived my life. No, sir. We need you on the farm. Martha needs you.
Right.
She can't be lifting all that hay by herself. Okay, Clark can only do so much. He needs to live his own life too, sir. You need to be alive. Um, but yeah, that's my thing. This is the way that it always should have been in Man of Steel, and I applaud this Jonathan Kent. I think they did a great job. Also, shout out because he's played by Neil Finn, who is the janitor in Scrubs. That memorable character. It was very funny. And he did a great job as like a very serious like Jonathan Kent. I was like, oh shit, dude, this guy got it. All right, so sliding in the homeroom. Final thoughts.
This was the start to a universe. I think it's interesting that once again, we're looking at a kickoff to a universe that is starting with the first superhero in so many ways. It was really solid. They had some really interesting commentaries, but overall, it was kind of forgettable. So, like, watch it. You're not gonna regret it, but also don't go into it thinking it's like peak cinema. And I'm very excited for next week where we get to punch Nazis.
You know us at DC graduates. There's Nazis being punched. 100%. We're gonna be
Hell
there.
yeah.
front
Sign us
lines,
up.
front lines, cheering on with a bag of popcorn. God damn it, that's the American thing to
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yo, that's what you're supposed to do to fascists. Punch him in the fucking face. All right,
Correct.
everyone. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it is. It's not a bad movie. I don't know if I'll go back and watch it necessarily. Again, I think it did the most interesting thing it would do for me. Again, I already pre-owned this before I knew about it, but I'd probably read American Alien again because at the beginning, like, I don't want to read that story again. Or recently, I did. I bought this, so I have been on a Superman kick. So I would, maybe I would, it would make me want to read a Superman story instead of rewatching this movie. Um, than anything else. It is a start. It's just there. It's I would say the most middle of the road movie, that you can get.
And if you want to consume a superhero story that might have been mentioned at the beginning of this episode, but don't want to give money to people you hate, support your
Library.
library.
Yep. Support your library,
Check
man.
it out from your library.
There's an awesome like metalcore shirt that says support your local library. And I thought about it, I was like, I kinda want to get it. It looks so cool.
Damn.
But yeah, do
You
that.
should send that to me. We should
Yeah,
get
I'll
matching
do.
library
Oh like
shirts.
shit, yeah, we should. As well too, like if you happen to have like a subscription service, like I mentioned in previous episodes, like DC Infinite, that's on there. So you're technically not paying for it if you want to see it that way. If you want to do the girl math about it, you're not really paying for it. You're paying for like, hey,
You're paying for
DCKO.
Poison Ivy 2022.
Exactly. You're paying for that. And then, I happen to stumble upon American Alien. Then I can read it. But yeah, that's it. It's a serviceable movie at best. If again, you're a completionist that wants to watch everything DC animated related, watch it. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have a bad time, but it's not the most fun time. Yeah, as you mentioned, next week your homework, everyone out there. After I said I hate homework, this is Justice Society World War II, which is a very interesting way to like really kick off the universe. So, like the second movie in this universe is really cool.
The second movie, we're going to alternate universe, differing timelines, past history, etc. We're gonna tie into some of those shorts that we watched in previous bonus episodes. It'll be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it will be. And many a Nazi gets punched again. That's
Hell yeah.
that's a ticket to the show right there. Before we sign off with Classroom, Sly, where can people find you?
You can't. Where can you find me? You can find me on Storygraph, where you will notice that I recently discovered that while I thought I couldn't stand audiobooks, I can stand them if I am stuck in a moving vehicle with nothing else to do. So I've
Fair.
been listening to some gay ass audiobooks. So come hang out with me on Storygraph at Slyclone. It is all over the place. Be warned. Again, I will read anything from like a sweet little middle grade fun romp to erotica, and I will own that straight up. Yeah.
Dumb
So,
question, but do they have comics on the story graph?
Yes,
All
they
right,
do.
all right. I'm
Where
signing
you
up
can
too.
also see when I logged all 4 volumes of Poison Ivy 2022.
All right, I'm gonna have to do that, and I have to do that in the future. You know what? As well, yeah, I've been thinking about this. I'm not gonna put any pressure on this. Mario has one, and I was just thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I want to rate a movie on Letterboxd. I'm like, I have an account. I don't know why I don't use it. It'd be interesting to start rating these movies on there. Post when we like launch the
Yeah.
episode.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not putting any pressure on us. Who knows if we do that? We follow up. I don't want to. We already have so much social media we do on our own anyway. Uh, but yeah, for me, you can find me here, youtube.com/point of progress, where we have DC graduates. I promised a lot previous episode that August we were gonna launch. It's not a loop, it's control. Listen, guys, I don't know if y'all heard about this game called Death
August
Stranding
was a
2.
lot.
Yeah. Not only is like real life crazy, and then like actually having a vacation was really nice, and my kids are going back to school, but like Death Stranding 2 is amazing. And I'm having a blast. And I know I should play Control, and I know I should upload those videos, but I'm halfway through the story of Death Stranding 2, and it's so goddamn good. And before that was Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which was fantastic as well. So it's been a really good year for video games that I'm not recording, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I need to get back to
Uh-huh.
our Remedy verse. It will happen. I don't want to put a timeline like I did the last few episodes. I don't know what's gonna happen. Just pay attention to my socials, nerd today everywhere. I have it on the side of my
Like,
glasses.
comment, subscribe.
Yeah, all that jazz.
It'll appear on your feeds eventually.
Exactly. And then, for my personal stuff, you can find me youtube.com/nerdy. But don't forget, if you're listening on audio, go to youtube.com/point of progress, subscribe, like, share, all that jazz. If you're watching, go to audio, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Next episode again, we're going to World War II. The greatest generation, they're called. See how these boomers do. All right, but until next time, class is dismissed.